Cars in movies really bring out the character in every movie character galore. Today, we are breaking down the top 10 list of epic movie cars from their era. Number 10, 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor Hearse, the Ghostbusters. Featured in the 1984 Ghostbusters movie, the Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Frozen Empire, this old school 1950s era Cadillac was one of the oldest movie cars of all time because why not? It nearly took about 60 years since this car was around. In fact, this car was even featured for the movie Ghostbusters at the time because who knows? Because Cadillac was probably the recognizable component to feature as a ghost hunting vehicle. Number 9, Aston Martin DB5 from the movie Goldfinger. If anyone remembers the James Bond franchise, they would obviously recommend driving the Aston Martin DB5. It's a 1963 and 1967 Aston Martin DB5 that was actually right-hand drive. So basically, you can do all those crazy sportsmanship, but also being part of a spy series, which is likely the type of character James Bond is. Number 8, BMW E38 Tomorrow Never Dies. Another James Bond car that we actually feature on this list was actually the BMW E38, which is actually using a stunt vision of a 740IL, the early base version of the E38 series. This car was actually driven through the back seat using a cell phone touchpad, which is likely where Pierce Brosnan was sitting in the back passenger bench of the car, and likely one of the most recognizable chase scenes in the 90s. Fun fact, the E38 actually makes its debut in Tomorrow Never Dies production in 1997. Right after the film was already successful, the BMW E38 has been synonymous with people learning how to drive through the back seat with a phone. Number 7, Steve McQueen's 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback from Bullitt. Featured in the 1968 movie of all car chase movies, Bullitt's 1967 Ford Mustang 500 Fastback goes up against the 1968 Dodge Charger RT driven by the Hitmen. Bill Hickman and Steve McQueen did all the raw driving. No music, no crazy dialogues, no explosions, just muscle cars barreling down the roads at full speed. 500 horsepower vehicles, completely raw power, and no logistics or whatever. It was just the vehicles doing all the shouting and talking all the way. Number 6, 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34 V-Spec, Fast and Furious. In the movie Fast and Furious, Paul Walker's character drove around in a 1999 Nissan Skyline R34 V-Spec. However, the Nissan Skyline was only launched from late 1999 towards early 2002 and was later being replaced by the R35 in 2010 all the way up to the present. The GTR only had a short line reproduction at that time because it was no longer in its valuation to continue on as a franchise as a whole. Sadly enough, we only get to see Paul Walker drive a Skyline for the last time in Fast and Furious 4 and Fast 5. Number 5, modified 1992 Dodge Viper in the TV series Viper. If anyone remembers that the Dodge Viper was truly a sports car, what was it like to have a TV series of the same name that it was using? The Dodge Viper RT10 was heavily modified in 1992. The car had no ABS, no airbags, and definitely no suspension and a roll cage. It was just a bare bones, basic stripped down road car like the Shelby Cobra back in 1966. The Cobra was so dangerous that it led to people crashing and even dying after they used it. And likely, the Viper RT10 in the Viper series has basically become a synonymous icon for the past few years. Number 4, 1981 DeLorean DMC-12, Back to the Future. If anyone remembers Back to the Future, why didn't they know that a DeLorean could do 88 miles per hour and do time travel? Well, they did now because it was due to science fiction magic. And likely the car didn't actually go 85 in real life because likely it was likely gonna hit 70 miles per hour because in reality, a DeLorean is not actually a time travel car in real life, but some people just recreate it due to its futuristic gull-wing door design, which is actually quite true because it is a supercar just electrified. Number 3, Volkswagen Minibus Type 2 from Scooby-Doo. The Scooby-Doo franchise has been known for any kinds of classic vans, Chevrolets, Fords, Dodge, but the most synonymous one is the 1962, or in this case, a 1975 Volkswagen Type 2 minibus that was used by the Scooby Gang. And likely, Fred is the one who is always driving around in the van because he was likely a van guy. I don't know if this was actually true or not because I think it looks pretty good enough because the Scooby Doo gang really needs a van. Number 2, H1 Humvee slantback in Terminator Dark Fate. In the movie The Terminator Dark Fate, the characters were using a 1991 Army stripped out AMG military vehicle Humvee. The Humvee was actually a real life powerhouse that wasn't meant for the streets, but thanks to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he now owns the very first road civilian Humvee called Hummer. Number 1, 1963 Ford GT40 MK2 race car, Ford versus Ferrari. One of Christian Bale be ever to be used in a movie like this is Christian Bale's 1963 Ford GT40 MK2 race car. The race car itself was actually a real life vehicle back in the day. It was actually used in motorsport known as the 24-hour of Le Mans. This 24-hour Le Mans car was actually a real life vehicle that was somehow set in the museum for an exhibit because it tells the story of real life rivalries between Ford versus Ferrari back in 1966 during Le Mans. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you go comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to ask me about what do you think is your favorite movie car. Comment down below to see